on previous episode was that you battled some depression. Can you share? Are you able to share? Are you comfortable with sharing when you said you battled depression? How did that look? What did that look like for you? Because depression looks different for everyone.
Yeah. So I had to go to a couple of doctors to figure that out. That I had mental health like that, like really bad mental health, like to the point where like I got pretty much diagnosed with bipolar depression. And I got like I think stage 2 of it, which is like it lasts like a couple days, whereas for like one depression it lasts like a day or two, but mine lasts for like days on end.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that out and I found that out. So you gotta take medication and stuff for it, and just to keep it under control. Anxiety, I got really bad anxiety, which again I didn't know I had really bad anxiety until I got around a lot of people, and then I started looking around and be like, yeah, I don't think I should be in this motherfucking building today. I don't know any of these people today, so let me go ahead and exit stage left, because it's not gonna work for anyone today. It's real though, like, cause you don't realize how bad it is until you get to that point, and then. But for depression, I just realized like I didn't like going outside so much. I like being in the dark. It goes into what Uncle E said just a moment ago about how I was introverted and I am. I'm not really that super outgoing person. That's more of my brother, to be honest with you. But I like being by myself. I like that because I could control what I can do. I can't control anybody else. Mm-hmm. And you learn that when you're going through depression. You can't control people's actions. You only control yours. Mm-hmm. And how people do have their emotions build on you. Sometimes you take a little bit too much of what the fuck they do, and you make it into your own situation, which makes you have depression, which I learned as I was going along with it, because I had situations going on and it was just like, okay, I don't care about none of this, but it feels like I care about this because I want to see good people get out of these situations. But you take it on yourself and you start to get depression because it's nothing that you've done to anyone. It's just other people's situations piling on you. And then you probably already had stuff that you was probably like leaving dormanted. You wasn't really talking about it. So when I also started going into therapy, I've been in therapy for like almost a decade now. So yeah, learning all of this stuff, I'm like, yeah, depression sucks. Like, this is not good for anyone, right? It's a bad feeling. But I learned a lot more about who I was and why certain things trigger me and certain things don't. And I'm like, okay, now I understand. This is how I'm supposed to move, and you learn it as you go. It's not easy. Mental health is not an easy thing to just one day you wake up and be like, I'm good today. This is a good day for me today. Okay. Nah, anything can trigger you back into that mindset, but like, man, I want to fuck somebody up right now. like right now. Like, get out the car. We're gonna do this right now. And it gets to that point, like, and sometimes you have it, and some days you don't, but you gotta learn it.
Control it.
That's good. I like that. And I think what's very important is that you're able to identify the triggers for yourself and understand your limitations. And also understanding that you can't allow someone else's energy or someone else's thought process to linger onto you. How you have to really release it in order to move forward. So when you talk about just perseverance and being motivated to be better, one of the biggest components of that is being able to be self-aware. So if I'm aware of my depression, if I'm aware of my anxiety, if I'm aware that today is not a good day to be in this particular place, that's what helps alleviate some of those stressors that people feel. Like, I don't have to carry the burden on my shoulders. I don't even have to carry anything at all. I can release it all if I choose to, but I have to be aware first. I have to be mentally strong first. So any additional things that you, like any pointers that you want to give individuals, Mr. Janu, Big E, Little B?
That was the first thing I learned. My therapist told me that. She was like, you already know how to be self-aware. You're self-aware of what is going on around you. So that's not something that's you're triggering. And cause she like laid out like flashcards, like things I should put my strengths and what's my weaknesses and stuff like that. And I was like, self-awareness is my strength, clearly, because I know I got depression. I know I feel it. I know certain things trigger me. So that was one thing I had to work on. The rest of the things, it's like if I could get that one thing under control, then everything else would just fall in line. And I think that's kind of how I've been moving. I don't put myself in any position that will trigger other things because I'm self-aware of the situations I'm in. That's why I don't go too many places with other people. Like, I might go to a concert, but I'm leaving by my damn self. I ain't got nobody else coming with me. I know what's going on. If something pop off, I can move. I ain't gotta look back and be like, what? I'm gone. I ain't got time for that. So I think that, when you going through these moments and stuff, like I said, therapy for 10 years is kind of like a hard thing to already establish. But I say this a lot. This podcast is one thing that keeps me kind of. This podcast is my diary. I kind of always say that. Like, it's my journal. Like, if I can't write down things, I'm not a writer down person. I'm more of a visual person. So I gotta speak on it before something happens. So as I've gotten, like I said, a little bit more adapt to the podcast world and everything, I can speak on what I want to speak on and what I don't want to speak on. But for the most part, when it's time for me to speak on it, I can speak on it openly and not have any problems with it.
And that's good, because I want people to be aware that this is July, and July is Minority Mental Health Month. So it's very important that we are aware that we do have our own month that we can celebrate. And we need to make sure that we go out and we get screenings. They do have mental health screenings, just like you have, substance abuse screenings or physicals. You have screenings for mental health. So it's important to make sure that you maintain a strong mental health. Again, I'm sorry, Mr.
What's up? What do you mean?
Yeah, anything?
Well, I don't, like, as far as like mental health is concerned with me, I think that everything that I've been through, like the stuff that I didn't even realize that, that, I don't know, I'm from like the old school kind of like, you know what I mean? And mental health things is like, we didn't
Talk about it.
We didn't talk about it. We didn't. It was like you get over it, you push through. You know what I'm saying? So everything that happened with me in my life, it was always, and especially about me playing sports and being an athlete, it was always on to the next thing. You always had to be strong mentally, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Mental health was weak. You know what I mean? Not saying it like that, but you know what I mean? And my parents, what they instilled in me is like, my dad especially, he was like, if you're weak, you beat. And that's with anything, with women, drugs, just anything. Like he said, you're weak, you beat. And I used to always keep that in mind, like opposition, somebody's trying to take your spot, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? So I try to fortify my mental all the way around, so to speak. And when I, like my thing, when I felt any kind of, I wouldn't say chink in the armor, when I first, you know what I mean, I would say with the death of my mom, so to speak, like that was the first chink in the armor. Like, I wouldn't say mental health, but that's when I felt that my weakest and my most vulnerable, you know what I mean, because I lost the most important thing to me at that particular time. And then my kids, when they came around or whatever, that picked me up or whatever, and so I was back on the road. And then when I split with when I had to split with my ex or whatever, that really didn't, it affected me because it affected my kids, so to speak. But I knew that I had to pull through and be strong for them and be the man that they needed me to be and be the father. They could never see me in that situation. So, but what happened was after that was fine. And then, so to speak, not fine, but fine. But what really, really happened with me was when I got diagnosed with cancer. You know what I mean? That played on my mental a little bit. Well, a lot. A fucking lot, to be honest with you. So when it said that cancer, live or die, 1% survival rate, it's pretty much you got 4 months to live, get your will in order, get your affairs in order, write out a living will, assign who you want to take care of your business, and because you probably won't make it. You know what I'm saying? When they told me, that's when my mental, that's when my mental went to another place. And then I realized, I got a depression. I'm like, why me? And stuff like that. And, I'm like, well, what's going on? So, but that was the real time that I had to confront any issues mentally, as far as like, I'm not in control of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I was just blessed with God to have a strong team. And I always mention my team around me to coach me and to cultivate me, you know what I'm saying, and to have me to soften the blow, in other words. I didn't have to deal with certain things that everybody, had to deal with, you know what I mean? I had I didn't have to worry about, I didn't have any worries. I'll say that all I had to worry about was going to my treatments, making sure I'm, taking the chemo and I'm doing everything that I have to do and be in a position to, whereas, you know what I mean, I didn't have that added stress. I didn't have to worry about bills, so to speak. I didn't have to worry about where my next meal was coming from, how my kids are getting taken care of, or, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, because I had such a support system to soften the blow. And it just so happened that I had a therapist in my camp that was very, 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 very close to me. And they were in my ear, and they would never, never let me rest or stop or contemplate anything else except pushing on and excelling. And when they saw me having a weak moment, they gave me enough grace to get it together. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thankful for. And that's my thing. I'm not saying mental health is not a problem. I'm just saying I haven't experienced it on that level, and I respect it on all levels because I experienced it enough, and as soon as it started touching me, like trying to poke at me, I had enough people around me that was, quote unquote, in that field, in that, you know what I'm saying, that deals with this type of stuff. God bless me in the sense to where He sent it to me. Now, if I didn't have them, if I didn't have her in that position, I don't know where I would be at to this date, or where I would be. You know what I mean? I probably would push through and been GreNeaued strong, of course, but the mental aspect of it would have been, it would have been taxing and tolling on me, and it would have been something that I would still be recovering from. So, like I said, man, like I said, it's real, and I didn't think, I was like, oh man, people, that's not really, you grew up with, but nah, it's real, man, and like I said, I respect it, like I said, so I don't knock it, and I encourage everybody to get help for it if you need to, because man, listen, that stuff is real and it's taking people out, and like I said, man, you just got to be strong. You got to get help, man. You got to get in that place where you can get people to help you and look out for you, man. But you got to do it. You can't nobody else do it for you. So it's all on you. So that's my take on it. So
I also think coming from where we come from, it comes from that too. We kind of like we just don't talk about it.
Right.
Right. Coming from where we come from, we just don't talk about it.
Right.
We move on to the next day. It's the next day to us. It's just like, that was fucked up yesterday. Oh well, we move on to the next thing. It sounds bad as hell.
It is what it is.
True. It's like and New Orleans is different, bro. It's
shit! Everybody in New Orleans can get a check, man. Everybody needs a check for doing all the stuff they gotta go through, man. Shoot. Nobody gets out of there unscathed, man.
Nobody, man.
Nobody gets out there unscathed, man.
Nobody.
Everybody gotta get touched. You know what I'm saying?
It be like that, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
like I said, mental health ain't something that you just easily wake up and be like, we good and everything's good and everybody good now. It's an everyday process, and you gonna wake up and be good every day. You wake up most of the times you wake up pissed off. I do. I mean, I wake up pissed off as hell because it just be like, I get up and I'm like, yo, this day feels like it could be good, and it feels like that. And then something come up and just like, all right, fuck it, and then you just throw it away, and then it's just like, you know what, fuck it. I hate to say it, but I'm more negative mindset wise now towards shit than I am positive. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm more used to, like, if something happens, then I'm like, oh well, fuck it happens. Like, I'm not like, oh wow, that happened. Damn, that's shit. I need to fix that again. Like, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It's more like I just wanna not be around it.
Yeah, I just I understand. Like, I had a recent conversation with one of my kids, man, and we were talking about that, and they were going through a little battle with, you know what I'm saying, with a little depression or whatever, and I told her, I said, listen, we sat down and stuff, and I'm like, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying? What can I do to help you? You know what I'm saying? Help me to help you. Tell me what it is that's on your mind and what you're going through. And when she told me what was going on, kind of like what you just did about the negative thoughts, and I gave an example, right? I said, listen, I said, do me a favor. She said, yeah, Dad, we were sitting in the room. I said, go over to that wall, and my light, switch was off. And I said, flick that light switch. And she flicked the light switch, and the lights came on. I said, you see what just happened? She said, yeah. I said, that's all it is. I said, your mind is just a light switch. You got to flip it. You got to flip the switch. And what I've learned is, you know, when the negativity enters your mind, you gotta immediately, you know what I'm saying, try to flip that switch. You know what I'm saying? I know it's easier said than done, but practice it. You practice it and you fight it, because we all got so much to be thankful for, especially you and myself, because we're here. Every day is a blessing. Every day, B. I promise you, man, I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful, bro. I write it, me, big old me, Biggie, the big homie. I write in the gratitude journal every day, bro. I've written in the gratitude journal since I've been here. I have a stack like this of gratitude journals, man. Every day, bro, I write in my gratitude journal. I'm thankful of everything that I'm here for. You know what I mean? If you need one of those, I'll ship you one. I'll send you some. I got a couple of them. You know what I mean? And just, it'll tell you, it'll ask you questions, and it'll give you quotes by Aristotle, Socrates, Muhammad Gandhi, Martin Luther King, you know, things to keep you going. Like, and if you're experiencing that, that's why, you know, you always check on me, bro. Like, it's been days when I felt like shit. You know, to be honest with you, you'll be like, Uncle E, what's up? And I'm like, oh, that's B. I know they look up to me, so I got to get up. You know, there's times she'll tell you, man, I couldn't even use the bathroom, bro. Like, you know, I had to have a urinal to use the bathroom, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thankful for, and that's what I'm positive about. So when you have those attitudes, like when you have those negative thoughts, bro, it's nothing but the devil, like, trying to come and steal your joy, my brother. So don't even look at it like as soon as you have those thoughts, just reassess it. Just be like, you know what, man, I beat the odds, man. I'm in the 1%. I ain't even supposed to be here. So what the fuck am I mad about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I mad?
There's ways to get mad.
Yeah.
The triggers.
I know. Life be life. Life be fucking life. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? I could have said, well, why? You know, out of all my brothers, you know, all the brothers and sisters like I got, right? Mm-hmm. How the hell did I get cancer? How did Rick get cancer? You know what I'm saying? How did we get cancer? We the ones that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. that's doing the thing. Like, you know, we got brothers that do. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's all. Like, God put his toughest task on his toughest soldiers. You understand what I'm saying? You toughest nails, bro. Nobody can. I don't think I could survive what you went through. You understand what you went through, growing up and watching you, how you went through all the tools used to be, how you know what I'm saying, moving around, how you was fragile, how you know what I'm saying. Now you're a solid young guy, man. You're a solid young man, and you doing your thing. You're out here, you pushing. You already won, bro. You know what I'm saying? You won. You know what I'm saying? So look at it like that, bro. Don't look at the glass being half empty, bro. Always look at it half being full. That's it. That's all I'm trying to tell you, bro. And I mean, when you feel it like that, call me, bro, anytime, man. Like, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm having a day. I can get you to somebody that can get you right, trust me. And they sitting in our presence right now. So, you know what I'm saying? All you gotta do, I'll patch you in until, look, get him. And they'll get you right, bro. Trust me, bro. They'll get you right, bro. Like, I'm telling you, man, everything I went through, B, I promise to God, bro, I'm not supposed to be sitting here, man. And it was that person, bro, in particular, bro, that made me fight and told me, ain't no giving up, ain't no none of this. You got work to do. Ain't none of that. Ain't no feeling sorry. Ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, flip it, brother. And that's why, man, I'm telling you, I went and got my life coach. I got my life coaching certification and my motivation speaking certification for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? Just to show people, like, you know what I'm saying? You can do it, man. It's not a death sentence. When people tell you, you know what I'm saying? When they say that it's over for you, or you can't make it, or you can't do something, we've been proving them wrong for the whole set. And it's just the enemy, bro. It's just the enemy that wants you to give into that thought, bro. And I'm just here to tell you, bro. Like I said, I'm here for you, man. When you feel like, you be like, "Okay," or you can just shoot me a text, bro. Like, you always shoot me like, "Okay, how you feeling? You good, okay?" All the time. So in my mind, I'm like, be upbeat, be positive. I'm like, and I sit back, I say, let me check on B. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how my dog doing, man. So I'll make mine. I'm glad that you mentioned it to me, because I'll make a mental note. I've made a mental note to always, you know, check on you and see how you're doing on a consistent basis. We consistent with each other, but I'm just saying being more consistent with each other. And if you're having a rough day, bro, don't be in that there, man. We got a life to live, bro. Like, We got to get out here, man. We got to get out here.
Again, if this damn weather let up, I would be out here all day. If this damn weather let up, I'm just shit. Some
It's gonna let
limitations.
us. If you feel like it, hit me up, man. We can rap about it. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it, man. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, bro. Just call me, bro. If you need. I understand you don't feel like talking to nobody, but that's when you be like, I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna be like, boop, B.
Yeah, I mean,
get him, T.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it to you, dog. I'm like, get him. Be having a bad day, T. Get him. Talk to him. Shoot him up. Get him something.
I think more so it's not the talking to anyone. I think it's more so just like
just the mental aspect.
Yeah, it's just the hurdles.
Right.
I think that sometimes you go through a lot of things. You just,
but I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just letting you know.
You just want to be by yourself a little bit. Be like, you know, I'm good on the extracurriculars. I don't need all that talking. I just need to be by myself today and just.
I can feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you on that. I respect that. But if you ever get to the point where you feel like you can't,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You can, so you reach out. You understand what I'm saying? You hit me up, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't be talking about you. Say, oh, B done jumped out the window. Nah, bro.
Well, I ain't got that big of a window, so I can't jump out the window.
Or B done jumped off the roof. So I don't want to be like that, though. Just get with me, man. Get with me. Get with me, man. I'm around, man. I'm around. You know, that's about it, bro.
So, Lil B, are there any closing remarks? I know you. I want you to go over all your handles, YouTube, your Instagram, all that good stuff. But are there any closing remarks? Any words of encouragement?
I just tell people, man, more so than not, man, find your passion. I think that's the main thing. Like when I really was going through my depression, that's when I started podcasting. And I say this all the time on my podcast. I usually drop shit after a couple weeks and be like, I'm done with this shit. There's nothing left for me to really do with it. I'm bored. There's nothing. And it goes back to the 20 episodes where it was just like, I didn't know. And then out of nowhere, oh shit, well, somebody is listening. Who knew? And then it just goes from there. So find your passion. I think that kind of helps you out a little bit more than people want to let on. I think that because sometimes we let people come in and kind of fuck up our mindset. Like, this is how I want to move. And then somebody come in and then they'll fuck up your whole mindset. Like, no, this is how I was supposed to move. And I said it too also in the podcast world. Sometimes like you get around certain people, you be around certain podcasters, and then you like, okay, this ain't how I usually would move with certain people. You gotta get back to who you are. And I think that's the one thing I would say. So find your passion. If you're going through something, especially if you already got it, that's even better. Just really tune into it more so, because I think that'll save you more than anything, because if you got a passion, you got something that you really actually care about, it won't lead you wrong because you care about it, you know, and you're not going to let somebody just come in and just take it from you. You'll fight for it. So find your passion. When it comes to depression, man, know your strengths and know your weaknesses, know your triggers, know the people that you can actually talk to. And you can actually have a real conversation with somebody that's actually not just there to talk to you. They trying to fuck with your mind. I think a lot of people sometimes, they think that the good people are the good people because they just show them some interest at the beginning. Then after that, they fall off after a while. You're like, well, I thought we was cool. They ain't got no use for you anymore. They just ain't got no use for you anymore. So find your triggers when it comes to depression, because a lot of those times people fuck with your head for no reason at all. Just because they need to unload their shit on someone so they can get over it. So find your triggers. Go to podcasting, simple shit. Just stay to your goddamn self. It's very simple. Like, stay to your goddamn self. You got ideas, keep it to yourself. I think when you finally establish what you do and how you do it, that's when people are gonna start to really pay attention to it. Some motherfuckers might even try to steal it. But you know, if it's coming from an honest point, an honest place, you always gonna win over that no matter what. Also, you know, I don't say I take L's, I don't take losses, I take lessons. At the end of the day, every day is a lesson.
That's right.
Know?
And every day is a blessing.
Every day's a lesson and a blessing for real,
sir.
but more so a lesson, because you can always have a worse day than what you had the previous day, or you can have a better day than what you had the previous day. It just depends on the day you're going through. I think that, you know, so a lesson to me is just always knowing that, you know, I got a passion, I know my triggers, and I know what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, there's nothing really that can stop me. And I'm like really focused. So all I care about right now is just doing my podcast, trying to get that somewhere near something, and hopefully one day, like I said, hopefully I do a Sirius XM show where it is actually my podcast, just in a bigger market. So that's all I care about right now, just continuously pushing myself to do that. And like I said, 4 years, September 19th, of the ReNeaued show. So I'm good on everything else on all fronts right now, just mentally,
Right.
when it comes to that. So yeah, ReNeaued show on all podcast platforms, YouTube channel ReNeaued show, the social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. I got a Twitter, but who the fuck uses Twitter? Uses Twitter. Yeah, ReNeaued show, man, on podcast platforms, YouTube channel, and like I said, social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, and like I said, Uncle E, thank you for having me on here, man. Appreciate it.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
More so than anything, having me on here is, I know the struggle you went through, the battle you went through. I'm so happy and grateful that you're still here, man.
Man,
I love you to death.
Man, I love you the same, brother. I love you
So,
more, man,
yeah.
for real. You know I had to get you, man. I had to come pull up on you, bro.
Yeah, and go listen to the one that he got with my daddy on there too, my pops.
Oh yeah. We gotta do a part 3. Rick gonna be that's my Yoda, man. Rick's my Yoda, man. You know what I'm saying?
Go listen to the one with my pops on it.
Yeah, Rick, that was my coach, man. Rick's my Yoda, man. He's my coach, man. He coached me through it, man. He walked me through it, man. And like I said, man, Rick was the one, man, who guided me, bro. Like when he knew what it was, man. He the one who gave me the name for my podcast, the New Life Podcast. Because when I told him what my diagnosis was, he told me, man. He said, "Hey, man, welcome to your new life." And I said, "What?" He said, "Your new life." He said, "Because your life, you known as it was, will never be again." And he said, just get ready for it, man. And he wasn't lying, man. It's been like every step of the way, bro. Like I promise you, be like everything, every step that I went through, Ricky walked me through it, bro. So I just want to say, big bro, he got my love for life, man. And like even to this day, man, I call him for advice and ask him things, bro. Because you know what I'm saying, like that's my guy. So you know what I'm saying. So like I said, I love y'all like I love my kids, bro. So and it's the same with him, man. So. Like I said, Rick is my coach, my Yoda. Even to this day, like I ask him certain things, bro. I mean, he walked me I'm talking about like a baby. He walked me through every step of the way, bro. Like every time, Rick, I don't feel this way. What do I do? What do I eat? How do I do this? How do I do that? They'll call him and say, Rick, you're not doing this. He'll tell him, listen, man, put some Vicks Vapor Rub under his feet, put it under his nose, put it on his chest. I'm talking about this after chemo treatment. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do none of that. He'll say, hey, man, go get a watermelon smoothie from Smoothie King, and get him a couple of them, put them in here, watermelon hydration, and he'll get hydrated that way. He'll tell me, eat the broth from the gumbo. Go to my sister and get some gumbo. Go there, get some red beans, right? Eat the broth from it. You gotta eat something. It'll soothe you. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that, bro. Like little inside nicks and knacks and tricks of the trade and stuff like that. So, like I said, bro, you, Rick. Big Rick, Little Rick, man, love always, bro. And I'll come back again, man, anytime. And I will be back because I love Houston. So, wrapping it up, man. I appreciate you, brother. And I want to come on your show and we're going to talk about wrestling. And we're going to talk about some hip hop. I'm a little old head, but I got it going on. All right, man.